Richmond is our home and we're ready to learn. We'll find fish, birds, and bugs everywhere we turn. If you're with blue sky, you know we're exploring. So come on, let's go and have some fun.
Welcome to Lewis Ginter Botanical Gardens. This 82-acre botanical garden is located in the lakeside neighborhood of Richmond, Virginia. It consists of 4 lakes, 5,700 uniquely classified plants, 15 distinct outdoor gardens, 11 major buildings, including a conservatory and greenhouse. Lewis Ginter is a part of the Museum for All partnership, allowing them to offer greatly reduced admission and membership fees year-round to SNAP EBT cardholders. I hope you and your family will come here to connect with nature and explore all the garden has to offer.
What do you already know about plants?
Plants have different processes and structures that allow them to carry out life processes such as obtaining energy and reproducing.
What would you like to learn about plants?
Today, our goal is to classify plants, be able to examine them in different ecosystems, and take a look at the adaptations that they have to survive there, and to take a close look at the different plant parts to understand their process and reproduction and gaining the things they need to survive. Here, we're at the Conifer Garden in Lewis Ginter Botanical Gardens.
Wait, Miss Nisha, what is a conifer?
A conifer is actually a type of tree that has needle-like or pine-like scaly leaves instead of the traditional leaves. And they're actually always green, so that's why they call them evergreens.
Oh, you mean like a Christmas tree?
Like a Christmas tree, exactly. So today we're going to use a dichotomous key to help us figure out exactly what type of conifer tree we're looking at.
Hold on, Miss Tanisha. There was a word in that sentence that I heard, but I don't know what it actually is. Can you repeat? What is that?
Dichotomous.
Okay.
Dichotomous keys are a series of options or questions that lead you to the right answer or solution when you're trying to decode or figure out what an item is.
Oh.
Okay.
Would you like for me to show you how it works?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Cool.
So, number 1 asks, are the leaves scale-like? What do you think?
They don't feel very scaly.
So, it looks like they're more needle-like, which was number 2. So, we're going to switch over. It says go to page 3. So, flipping over to page 3. And the next question say, are the leaves long? 1.5 inches. You guys think they're long? Here's a ruler right here. They look really short to me. Yeah. So if the leaves are shorter than 1.5 inches, we need to go to page number 6.
Okay.
5 and 6. So our next directions ask us to look at how the leaves are growing on the stem. Are the leaves growing around the stem, or are the leaves covering the stem? To me, it looks like they're growing around. Yeah, so we're going to go to number 7, which is our very next page. So 7 says, the leaves are round or the leaves are flat. So you're going to have to get up close. What do you think, Mr. Dustin? They look kind of...
I can feel it.
Kind of rounded to me.
I can feel just like a smooth surface.
A smooth surface?
Kind of rolls in my fingers.
Okay. So are you going more with flat or round?
Let's see.
Let's go with round.
And see what
So we're going to go to number 14. Let's find out if you are correct. Number 14 leads us to the answer. It says that it's a Colorado blue spruce. And the way we can check here at Lewis Ginter is by looking at these tags. So if you lift that up,
ta-da!
It's a match, Colorado blue spruce. Very good. High five, Mr. Dustin. Do you think you're ready to try out a tree on your own?
I am.
All right.
I'll give it a shot. As I walked through the conifer garden, I found this tree and I would love to know what the name of it is. So again, we're going to use the dichotomous key in order to classify this tree. Starting off on page 1, it asks again, are the leaves scale-like or needle-like? So if they are scale-like, we should go to page 2, but if they're needle-like, we'll go to page 3. As I examine these leaves and I feel them, I can feel that they are more needle-like than scale-like. So I'm going to go to page 3. Page 3 asks, are the leaves long, greater than 1.5 inches, or are the leaves short, less than 1.5 inches? So I'm going to look at these. Here's a needle here that had fallen off, and they are long, so they are greater than 1.5 inches long. So I'm going to go to number 5. Number 5 asks us, are the leaves growing in bundles of 5, or are the leaves growing in bundles of 2? So I'm going to examine this carefully and see. I can tell that they are more than 2, but are they 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will go to number 11 on the next step in my dichotomous key. 7, 8, 10, 11. Oh, so 11 says that this is a limber pine. Let's see if we're correct. And there you have it, a limber pine. So we were able to identify this tree in a quick and easy way here in the conifer garden.
Wow, look at this conifer. I'd like to also know the name of this particular tree. So I'm going to use our dichotomous key here. Start on page 1 to find out. The leaves scale-like or are they needle-like? So these actually look very scale-like. So that means I go to page 2. On page 2, it asks, are the leaves yellow and green or are they just green? So here I'm looking, there's like maybe you could find a touch of yellow, but they're mostly green. So I'm going to go with green. And that asks me to go to page 4. I flip to page 4 and find the question, are the leaves loosely branched out or are they tightly branched into a vine? And they look actually really tight together, kind of like a fan. So the leaves are tightly branched into a fan, and I'll go to page 10. 8, 9, 10. All right, so this has brought us to a name, and it says that it's a Hinoki cypress. Let's check the sign and find out if that is correct. A dwarf Hinoki cypress. Excellent. One of the greatest gifts that plants give us is oxygen. Photosynthesis is what allows plants to take energy from the sun and to convert it into sugars that other organisms use. So plants are actually breathing. The leaves are breathing. They take in the carbon dioxide that we breathe out, and then they release out oxygen that we breathe in. So to model that and demonstrate that, what you'll need is 5 clear cups or jars, water, and 5 different leaves.
So along our hike today, while we were walking through Lewis Ganser Botanical Gardens, we collected some fallen leaves that we saw on the ground. We made sure that we were looking for green leaves, not the crunchy brown ones that you might see. So we collected 5 leaves and put each of those leaves into a clear cup with water. And we set these out earlier so that we could watch to see how much oxygen each of those leaves lets off. And it made us wonder which leaf is going to let off the most oxygen, which plant is giving us the most oxygen. So you'll take some time to get up close and count those little oxygen bubbles and be able to figure out which leaf is helping us breathe the most. Now it's time for chlorophyll coloring. Find a leaf that is still flexible of any color. Use a printout or a drawing of a tree. Rub your leaf against the paper and allow the chlorophyll to come out onto the paper, coloring in your tree. Plant reproduction is very important, and in order to have a better understanding of plant reproduction, we need to take a close look at all of the flower parts. So today we're going to be doing a flower dissection. It all starts with pollination, with pollinators buzzing in to these beautiful flowers and leaving and taking pollen from flower to flower. Come in close so we can take a look at what's inside the flowers that helps them reproduce. Let's take a close look at all these different flower parts. First, we're going to see if we can get some pollen from off of the anthers and shake it onto our sheet. Looks like these are empty, so we'll cut off our flower right at the base. And the first thing we're going to look for now is our sepal. The sepals are the parts that hold the flower together before they begin to bud, similar to this one. So they may look like petals, but in actuality they are the sepals. They are more green. So we're going to snip those off first with a little pair of scissors. Oh, that one just snapped off, which is great. And looks like here's a second one. And a third one. So behind the sepals are the petals of the flower. And flower petals are often brightly colored to attract insects that will pollinate the plant. So we'll snap off the petals. If they don't come off easily, feel free to use your scissors. And inside, you will see the stamen. And the stamen have the anther, which is this little bit at the top, and the filament, this long section. So we're going to put our stamen down. And while you're breaking off your stamen, you want to make sure that you look out for this pistil. That's the very center piece. It's shorter than all of the other stamen. You can look at the comparison. They're much shorter, and it's usually in the very center of the flower. So we'll break off or cut off our stamen, and underneath the stamen is the ovary. So the ovary actually has the ovules in it. So we're going to cut it in half. Carefully, or with the help of an adult, snip this piece in half. And you can see the ovaries inside. And those ovaries are where seeds are produced so that the plant can reproduce. And I know you saw all that upside down.
Try this brain break with us to get your body moving. Miss Tanisha, Mr. Dustin, I think we need to shake it out. Are you ready? Let's start at 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 2, 1, 2, 1. 2, 1, 2, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1.
Here we are at the conservatory, where you can find rare and unusual plants from all over the world. Let's take a look.
An aquatic plant is any sort of vegetation that lives and grows in water or is permanently saturated. Without them, animal species in their midst may not have sufficient access to oxygen, which aquatic plants and algae supply in abundance via their metabolic processes. These plants supply food for some animals.
This section has a desert environment. These plants have a lot of different adaptations in order to survive in such a hot and dry climate. The tropical wing features lush, warm, wet climate that is usually found in rainforest habitats. Trees in the rainforest grow very tall because they have to compete with other plants for sunlight. Most trees in tropical rainforests have thin and smooth bark. They don't need thick bark to keep them from drying out because the rainforest is so wet. Now we're in the wetland garden area. Let's explore together and see what plant adaptations need in order to survive.
Wow, what a treat. We've come across a carnivorous plant, a pitcher plant to be exact. Yeah, that's right, these plants eat meat. Insects and bugs, to be specific.
Oh look, I see knees. Bald cypress knees, that is. They're a tree that grow close to the riverbanks of wetland areas.
As we walk through the woodland garden, we are on search for non-vascular plants like liverworts, hornworts, and mosses like these right here. They do not have roots, stems, or leaves. Since they do not have any special internal pipelines or channels to carry the water and nutrients, non-vascular plants absorb water and minerals directly through their leaf-like scales. They are usually found growing low to the ground, and they reproduce with spores. They need a moist habitat in order to survive. There are many other parts of this garden that we could explore and other plants that we could see. We encourage you and your family to go to a local park and see what kind of plants that you can find in your area.
Today you will get to use your creativity to design a plant that has adaptations to survive in a surprise environment. You can find the directions for this in the links below if you're watching on YouTube, or you could go to blueskyfun.org and click on the What Do We Do tab and click the elementary school, and you'll find the directions there. So for today's investigation, you will need to gather a variety of recyclables at home. You will need some yarn, pipe cleaners, wax paper, aluminum foil, pom-poms, tissue paper, beads, sequins, toothpick, and Play-Doh.
So our first step is to use the plant design challenge sheet to discover what environment your plant will need to survive in by first thinking about what month you're born in. I was born in July, so that means my plant will have to survive in the grasslands. And it gives you some detailed information about the climate and other environmental factors in that habitat. Next, you'll need to think about, what is it that I want my plant to produce? Or do I want it to produce anything? Is it going to provide something for humans to be able to use? Maybe like an oak tree provides us with wood to build our houses after you cut off all the bark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So once you make that choice, you have to move on to figuring out the energy. So all plants have to get their energy from somewhere, and we have to figure out how is your plant going to collect energy. You'll record that down on your sheet. How does it collect energy? You also need to have a way to protect yourself. Will you protect yourself from animals? And how will you protect yourself from the weather and the climate in that area? Also, how will it reproduce? What things within your plant will help make sure that it's not the last plant that's ever found, but it can continue to reproduce itself for years to come. Now, scientists, we're moving on to filling in the life cycle of our plant. What does it look like as a seed, a seedling, a young plant, an adult plant, a flower, and if it produces a fruit? The most fun part, Miss Regan,
Yes.
is now.
What
Because
is
you
that?
get to put all your creative ideas together
Ooh, excellent.
to sketch out your plant,
Okay.
use these special crafting materials, and build a plant of your own.
Wow, that's gonna be great.
I can't wait to see all of your creative plants and read about how they survive in those different silly environments.
Richmond is our home and we're ready to learn. We'll find fish, birds, and bugs everywhere we turn. If you're with blue sky, you know we're Let's go